Okay, in this video what we're going to do is start off very simple and create a very easy game type for us to start work with. Okay, so here we are in the UDK build for July at the moment. In the development source DavCorp classes folder. Now what I'm going to do is cheat, but then again we're all starting, so we've got to learn somewhere. So what I'm going to do is go down to the UT game classes folder, find UT Deathmatch, right click it, copy and paste into my DavCorp classes folder. Now basically what we're going to do is just extend from the UT Deathmatch game type. Okay, this is very easy, and for anybody who's got the same sort of coding skills as what I have, e.g. nothing, it's the way to get going. So what we do here, now obviously if we leave that as UT Deathmatch, it's not going to like it. So what we're going to do is just change the name. Alright, so I'm going to call this DC DavCorp, underscore it, game, underscore, and just so we don't have some ridiculously long name, just call it game death. Okay, so happy with that. Well, what else we got to do? Well, we're going to have to open this and actually edit it. So I'll double click on it, goes into context, or the context text program, which is what I use for programming. Now if you haven't seen this before, go on to my website. I think it's in the UT3 video set tutorials. Tells you all about context, where to get it, how to get the Unreal script highlighter and all the rest of it, and that's what I use. So I'm not going to cover it in this video because I'll just be repeating myself 10 times a week. Right, so what do we want to do here? Well, we're just going to extend the UT Deathmatch, which I'm just going to copy that at the moment. Now as you can see, UT Deathmatch extends UT game. We're going to have a look in that in a minute because there's a couple of little things that I want out of there. So we'll just go to paste that in. We'll go to change this. How did I do it? There we go. Alright. DC underscore game underscore and get rid of the match. Now this name, this class name here, has to coincide and be exactly the same as the name that you've gave the UC file. Okay, be aware of that. Now what do we do next? Well, next thing we do is actually have a look here, look at all this stuff here, and what we're going to do is remove it because that's already in UT Deathmatch. All we want to do is change a few things down in the default properties for it to use our stuff initially. Okay, so we can get rid of all that because that's all declared in UT Deathmatch. Now here's another one. What we're going to be looking for, online game settings. This is all stuff that has come in recent months within UDK because the inclusion of Steamworks and all the rest of it. So we can get rid of all that because we don't need it. Now this is looking very simple, isn't it? Well, you're right, it is. So what we're going to do is make a copy of that, delete it, delete it, because like I say, it's still all, let's say, declared in the UT deathmatch, and if we redeclare it, then you're going to have problems when we compile the scripts. Okay, so right, we're just going to copy that back in. Alright, put a hit tab. No, that's a bit too far. Somewhere around there, that'll do. Nice and tight. And so all I'm doing here is, when we make our first map, what will happen is that our game type will automatically recognize that map as belonging to our game type. In a way, we still have other work to do, but this is how we're going to do it. And what we're going to do is, it's a map prefix, and we're going to call it DAV. Okay, DAV Corp, you get the link there? Smashing. Now, one of the other things, if we just done this and compiled it straight away, played it, you wouldn't notice the slightest bit of difference. So what we're going to do is, like I mentioned, we're going to have a look at the UT game, because that's quite important. Alright, as you can see here, you've got lots of bools, global configs, variables, and lots and bits and pieces. Now, I'm not even going to go anywhere near this stuff, because it confuses the hell out of me. But what I can do is, you can go down here into the default properties and start looking at these bits and pieces here. Now, we deal with them in other videos, which I made about a year and a half ago, if not longer, and that's pretty much set up the same. I'm doing these videos for the new people who haven't sort of lived through the changes in UDK. So, okay, let's get on with this a little bit. You got your HUD type, your player controller class, console player controller class, what the hell that does I don't know. Your default pawn, replication class, game replication class, deathmatch messages, population manager class. What on earth is that? That's a new one. Well, for me anyway. Your bot class. Then you got all your other little bits here, like allow keyboard and mouse, restart level, blah 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 blah. The one I'm interested in at this moment in time, yeah, is default inventory class. Now, what this does is that when you start a UT game, like we did initially on the first video, you get automatically the link gun. So what we're going to do is copy and paste that. Copy. And no, wrong. Let's do it with a mouse. Paste. Excuse me. So what we're going to do now is that even if we compile the scripts as it is now, we'd still get the link gun, and you wouldn't notice any difference. So you wouldn't actually be able to see the fact that we're using our game type. So what we're going to do is very, very quickly, we're going to go into UT game content, because the other weapons have been modified. I'm just going to copy the name of the shock rifle and paste it in there. Okay, so are we there yet? No. There's one other thing that we have to do so that the game, well, there's quite a few other things that we have to do so that the game recognizes our game type, and this is going to take a little while. So what we do is we go into the UDK game folder set, into config. In config you will find default game ini. Now, I mentioned in the first video that we don't really like changing the default ini files, but if you want to package your game later, all your entries have to be in the default any files in the engine and in the game and the UI and all the other bits and pieces. Okay, but that's dealt with elsewhere. So what we're going to do first is open this up. Now here we go, searching, scrolling down, weapons, blah 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 blah, because basically what I'm looking for is the INI entry for the game types. Here we go, game modes. And so what we're going to do is just copy that, go all the way down to the bottom, and here we go, lots of backspaces, semicolon, DavCorp, backspaces. Now what that does is basically, let's see if I can very quickly find it. It's basically doing like, alright, I've got to put some semicolons in. Because if you put a semicolon in front of any line, it won't read it. Okay, it's very good for putting in information that people need. Okay, so semicolon. I hate using laptops. Hey. Alright, now what we're going to do is paste in our game type. Well, no, the deathmatch game type, but of course we need to change. Yeah. Well, let's be bone idle, shall we? There we go. Just copy and paste. Now we need to do it there as well. Paste. Now we need to change that. So obviously DavCorp, because that's where our game type is. Now I'll tell you what, let's just start it off. Let's compile the scripts and start the game as it is. Yeah, so we'll just save this at the moment. Right, here we go, back onto the main screen. Click UDK game, and it says, do you want the scripts are outdated? Yeah. Now, I forgot to do this one. The first time you start a new installation of UDK, it will ask you to do this, and it will compile your complete source scripts. Whether you've changed anything or not, it doesn't matter. Now here we go. We've got some red entries. What have I done there? Script versus class. Let me see. Yeah, you fool. What haven't I done? I haven't saved it. So there we go. There we go again. Yeah, scripts are out of date because I basically just resaved my file. Now this will go quicker. There we go. And shows you simple little things where you can make mistakes. So now what we're going to do is start the game. It's still on super wide screen because I forgot to change that. Alright, and there we go. As you can see, we've got DavCorp DC game, which if we move up, I'll show you where to change that in a minute, but I'll do another video on how to change these things once I've done the map and everything else. Okay, so go on to there, map, now obviously deck, now go on to settings. Yep, that's fine. Why is it fine? Because we're still using the deathmatch settings. Sometimes that will not show up. Okay, I'll show you in a, we don't need to start the, well, go on then, let's start the game and keep you happy. Now in previous versions, what you had to do was go in and change entries in the... See, there we go, we've got the shotgun instead of the... Okay, get out. Well, let's get back to the main menu. Now we go back into game mode. Now, unfortunately, due to the way the scale form menus are set up, I haven't found a way to get rid of this DavCorp bit and just have the name of the game type. I've tried with the int files, but haven't had any success on that. So basically, what Epic's doing is, in a way, sidewise way, trying to get you to make your own menus. Okay, but for people who just want to use, starting off making basic stuff, this is good enough. Okay, so remember, game mode, there like that, smashing, and go back and exit. Yes, go away. Right, where were we? What was I going on about? Okay, ini files, that was right. Now, just a quick one. I'll put that down there. If you are not getting your option set, I'm doing it. I'm getting it because I've extended from UT Game, not UT Game, from Deathmatch. So I'm still getting the prefixes and the option sets for the Deathmatch, but we'll change that at a later date. Okay, going to have a few more videos than what I was expecting, but we'll see how it goes. But that, at this moment in time, is enough to get you going on a very simple game type. So remember, this is where, just a quick one, I did mention, your preview markup image, yeah, Deathmatch, your game settings, your game mode, and all the rest of it. Well, in the process of the next few videos, we'll go in and we'll be changing a few of these and see what effects that actually has on the menu as well. And I'll show you how to fix it if we have to. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that because I've been burbling on for long enough at the moment. And I'll see you soon. Well, in the next video, we'll do our own map.